Why do I believe what I believe? Because I've walked with God closely, and I've learned to hear the voice of God within me speaking. I know what it sounds like without a doubt in my mind. And it cannot be, for me, the truth has been revealed through the Holy Spirit to my consciousness, to my being. So it can't be debated as far as I'm concerned. But does that mean that I'm going to go and get upset when my reality that God has shown me doesn't line up with what someone else believes? No, that's not love. Am I going to judge or look down on somebody because I feel that they're not seeing things clearly or as clearly as they could? No, I'm not, because that's not love either. But that's different from where I used to be. I've come almost full circle. I've been a lot of different religions in my search for truth. And I have learned that God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. If you seek, you will find. But you must be honest with yourself. Are you really searching for truth, no matter what it looks like? Are you willing to lay down everything you believe right now? If God were to tell you that what you believe is not the whole truth? That's not for you to answer to me. That's for you to answer from within yourself. We can be a lot like the captives in the wilderness when the Lord sent Moses to go into Mitzrayim, interestingly enough, which means chaos and confusion, to set the captives free, to bring the children of Israel out of captivity that they were in for 400 years. You know, they kept wanting to put their roots down in the desert. They would make camp. They were being led by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Hugely metaphorical. We are supposed to be led by the Holy Spirit as well. When the Holy Spirit moves, you follow. You tear up those tent pegs. You pick up camp. You kick some sand on the fire and you move. But they didn't want to. And this is hugely metaphorical for people even nowadays. The Holy Spirit moves, and we're so comfortable at camp where we are now that we don't want to go. We don't want to sacrifice anymore. We don't want to travel. We don't want to toil. We don't want to be uncomfortable. But the truth is, the refiner's fire is there for a reason. Being uncomfortable allows for growth. If you find yourself stagnant in your beliefs and you're not having your socks knocked off by the revelations of God every day, then I'm here to tell you, you're stagnant in your beliefs, and God has so much more that He wants to show you. Because that's exactly what I went through. What I've learned is it's all about the heart. It's about the heart of man and the conscience of man. The blood of bulls and goats was never enough to cleanse the consciousness of man, to cleanse the conscience. God had to show us the difference between light and dark. Think about it. The fall that the Bible talks about in the book of Genesis, where the serpent tempts Eve and then Eve tempts Adam. The serpent told Eve, God knows in the day that you eat of this apple that you will become like Him, knowing both good and evil. And in some translations, both light and dark. and dark and light correlate to good and evil as well. So beings that only knew goodness, only knew light, only knew God, only knew bliss and love, were now aware of the opposite. Now it was up to them to choose which one would reign in them. Can you see what that would be like? You and I have never known anything but light and dark. We've always been able to perceive both, right and wrong. We've never existed in a state where we would have to, or rather, we've never existed in a state where all we've known is light and goodness. We've all known pain and suffering and loss. God is the king of all the opposite. The fruit of the Spirit of God are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. All of those things are the fruit that come forth when you're walking in the Spirit. There are also fruit of the flesh that are listed right after that in Galatians 5, chapter 5, verse 22 is where it begins. So go check it out. That's how you know if you're walking in the Spirit or if you're walking in the flesh. And you're going to go in and out of the Spirit and the flesh daily. But the goal is to do it more and more and more to where you're going into the flesh less and less. And Christ made this possible because Christ pulled it off. Christ was able to enter into the Holy of Holies for us. And now we can because of Christ. I really want to go in depth more about that and do more videos. I realized I got... Good job, honey. That's enough of those now, though. Okay? I got off track a little bit from what I was talking about, and I'd like to try to wheel my way back. So, yeah, it's gone. That part's gone. But there's so much more that's in my heart that I want to put out there for that one lost sheep that's out there calling for God in the cold and the rain. Where are you? Where are you? Right there with you. Don't pay attention to what's loud and abrasive around you. Pay attention to what's still, what's calm, what's quiet inside of you. God is a gentleman. He's not going to force himself on you. The part of you that is shared with God is the calmest, most confident part of you. Your very consciousness, the very air you breathe, your very awareness. So I'll leave you with that for this video.